little girl, our family would always travel to Pennsylvania to visit my grandparents every weekend and attend my grandma's church, a Free Methodist church. And once a year, they would give out these metal banks to collect money, and it would say Gary Holmes on it. And so the idea was we would take the banks home and fill them up with coins and bring them back. So I didn't really understand what Gary Holmes was, but I loved the idea of taking the bank home and filling it. And so I did that, and through the years, just doing that year after year, I just felt this bond with Gary Holmes, whatever it really was. And that church also, we would pray for our missionaries, and one of the missionaries' names was Betty Reynolds. So I didn't really know much about missionaries either at that young age, but I could appreciate that they would leave the comforts of their home and go to a foreign land and teach people about Jesus. And so again, I had another bond, and I'll make sense of that in a moment. The third was that my grandmother always thought that she would come to Heritage Village to live. And it did not happen, but it was yet again a bond with this place that I knew very little about. So 6 years ago, my husband became the Free Methodist pastor here in Gary. And I learned that we would be just a half a mile away from Heritage Village. So I told my husband that when we moved, I was going to walk up the hill and I was going to see if I could find a job there. So I did that, and they found favor with me and hired me. And so as I began working on the floor with residents, there was a woman there named Betty Cannon. And that name didn't mean anything to me, and she was yet just a resident that I cared for along with all the others, until one day I was in her room and she had a nameplate, and on it it said Betty Reynolds. And it was a connection in my head, and I said, "Are you the Betty Reynolds that I would have prayed for as a little girl, the missionary?" And that is actually who she was. And I just thought that was such a wonderful gift from God that many years ago I would actually move here and meet that woman and be able to minister to her and take care of her in her older age. So all three of those things just bonded my heart to this place and made me want to be a part of it. I had a really wonderful relationship with my grandmother. And so I have a heart for the elderly. And being with them day after day, it's like being with my grandmother or being with my grandfather. And I love being able to care for them, to make them smile, to meet a need for them, to just make life better for them. I think I would say that if they had a heart for the elderly, that it is a place that they could come to every day and give a lot of love away and receive a lot of love and make a difference every single day in people's lives. Okay. I'm Sherry McCarthy, and I work at the Heritage Village Retirement Campus, and I make a difference.